Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Albon, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Hadjar, Russell, Sainz and Sergio Perez, Antonelli, Bortoleto, Fernando Alonso and Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Liam Lawson and Pierre Gasly, Lindblad, Stroll, Behrman and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, so not an ideal parking spot, but let's try and get a good launch upon the race start. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Radar showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. Okay, red flag, mate, red flag. No overtaking, please. We'll see you in the pit lane. Right, if we play this right, we can get a nice advantage here. Let's have a think about how we handle the rest of this race. Again. The tyre situation's an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now. Okay, Max. Right, focus, please. I know you've been off track a couple of times, but that's not important anymore. Let's move forward and try and keep the next few nice and tidy.
Yep, you go.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up. No threat of rain for the time being, conditions look good. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters. Okay, good work. Great pass. Weather's changing now, you might want to review our strategy. Confirmed. And you've got P7, 7th place. Okay, so gap to the leader, 9.0 seconds. Russell's ahead of you now. Less than a second separates you. Isaac's behind you now. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They've got some kind of mechanical problem. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, 12 laps to go. Okay, we can take you this lap. Yeah, really good job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though. Just a reminder from me, temperatures are vital for tyre wear, so make sure you keep them in the green zone. Tyre condition still looking good. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. Understood, stopping this lap. I'm afraid you've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. Okay, so the stewards have enabled boost mode and full straight mode. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. got boost mode available now. Use it if you want to. Okay, so overtake mode active. We'll get some extra power from the hybrid system now. Use boost on the next long straight to get past. Red Bull driver has the lead. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 4.9 seconds. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds of that. Really good stuff. Okay, Max, Lando's ahead of you now. They're holding us up now, so let's please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push. Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down. Yellow flag. Okay, clear. Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 14.7 seconds. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
It was quite tricky to the high speed at the end, but we managed it.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
Well, are we looking at a champion in waiting today, Crofty, with that kind of performance? They were driving with the kind of lack of pressure that you quite often see when a driver knows, they just know within themselves that that championship is within their reach.
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not. It's back again, because Max Verstappen is back on the top step. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.